From a soggy New Palestine High School, Greg Rakestraw, Jim Leisure with you. It is high school softball here on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network. And yes, that graphic is spot on. A pair of 8-0 teams. Of course, the home team, the two-time defending champions in Class 3A in New Pal, taking on county and conference rival Mount Vernon. Jim, a pleasure to be with you. And while it is not Chamber of Commerce weather for this evening's game, we expect this to be a really good one.
Well, that's the only thing really lacking. I think, like you said earlier, you have two 8-0 ball clubs. You have a rivalry that's, and in my opinion, in East Central Indiana, there's none stronger. New Palestine, Mount Vernon, both teams 8-0. The only thing right now is, like I said, the weather that's not cooperating quite yet.
New Pal, the 8-0 record is expected. Mount Vernon, this is clearly a team that is on the rise under their head coach and Veronica Kirby.
Well, I got to talk with head coach of New Palestine, Ed Markham, before the ball game, and he told me that he really likes what Coach Kirby has been able to accomplish in the last 2 or 3 years. He told me that this team has gotten better every single year, and he really expects this to be a pretty good ball game.
Going to look at Kaylee Bullock, the starting pitcher in the circle for New Pal, 4-0 on the season, an ERA of just over 1.6. She has walked 4 batters, given up 20 hits so far on the season. Haley Kissy, the starting second baseman, gets the nod to lead off the batting lineup for Mount Vernon. A .424 batter on the year with 2 home runs and 8 runs batted in. Rain literally just started here about 5 or 10 minutes ago, given the forecast for today and given the amount of rain overnight. Kind of today it wasn't exactly an optimistic thought that we would get this game in, but we have gone through most of the day without dealing with rain showers.
Well, and the weather could play into the strategy, too. I mean, one of the things both these coaches may do, if they get a runner on, they may play a little small ball, try to get a run or two. If it does get rained out after 5, it's complete technically.
That's in for a strike, 3-1 the count.
Although at the high school level, it's not uncommon to come back and maybe try to make it, finish the ball game. But so we'll see how they play it out.
Outfield playing straight away. Infielders inside the bags at first and third. That also hits the inside corner as well. Neither of these two pitchers, we'll talk about Kaylee Franklin for Mount Vernon in the bottom half of the inning, but neither of these two pitchers have given up much in the way of walks on the season. But obviously there is an adjustment period as a pitcher getting used to the conditions. And this one line foul. And the count remains at 3-2.
Well, pretty good bat for both people. The pitcher starts off 3-0, comes back, fights back, gets a couple strikes, and batter hanging strong, just, fouling off pitches, trying to get something that hopefully a mistake, something that's going to catch a little bit more of the plate, something that Kissy can put in play.
Umbrella's the order of the afternoon so far here at New Pal. And a rise ball fastball that Kissy could not catch up with. Good job to battle back from a self-inflicted 3-0 hole for Bullock, and there's one down.
Well, that's exactly right. That's just a pitcher just not giving up on an at-bat. Probably had a little bit of a plan. I imagine she probably approached it seemed like a lot of the balls were up in the zone. That's where she wanted to stay. That's where the coach had tried to attack her, and that's what she did.
Bullock, 27th strikeout on the season. Blowing away ball number 1. Riley hassled the right fielder. Into the batter's box for Mount Vernon. See her batting average on the season, 5 runs batted in so far this year. And a good scouting report here by New Pal. You can picture her seeing it's a lefty slap hitter.
Absolutely.
Trying to keep that ball away. Whittingham falls behind the batter for a second consecutive count, now at 2-0. Does make contact with that on the foul tip.
Pretty much the same spot, though. That pitch might even have been a little bit outside the zone, but looks like Hasselt was wanting to get things started, put the ball in play.
And this one, pop foul, count at 2-2. This is the second game of the week for Mount Vernon. Winners over Frankton on Tuesday by a score of 2-1. And we're rained out on Monday. They were slated to play Newcastle on Monday afternoon. One hopper, shortstop, fires, and gets her by a step.
Nice scoop. First base there, ball's in the dirt a little bit. Really good job. We tell as coaches, you see the replay here. Good pick, throws in the dirt, a little bit down. that's a tough play. You know, anybody can make the one up in the eyeballs. You know, I can make that catch. I need somebody to make tough catches.
Michaela Jones made the play over at shortstop. Firing over to the first baseman and Macy Miller. 2 down. And now locating the inside corner for a strike. Sydney Perry at the plate. Shortstop for Mount Vernon. One of 3 players with 2 home runs on the season for the Marauders. This one, second baseman, has time. And down in order goes Mount Vernon in their half of the first inning. Now we'll see the Dragons come to bat here in the home half of the first. Take a look at the defensive handiwork here first of all.
Yeah, one of the things, and you and I were talking about it before the game, that at the softball with in softball with a 60-foot base pass, you know defensively you don't have a lot of time. You've got to pick it and get rid of it. And if there's any hesitation, any bobble, chances are the batter's going to be safe at first. Unlike baseball, where second baseman can probably bobble it twice and still get it over to first and get it out. So you could make an argument that defensively this is a more difficult game to play than baseball.
Potent lineup coming to the plate for New Pal as a team. They are batting .430 so far in the season, 17 home runs. The pitcher they will be facing is Carly Franklin for Mount Vernon. And you see her outstanding record again, both teams 8-0, so she has 6 of the wins so far for Mount Vernon. And on average, she has gone 6 innings per outing, which makes that walks number even more impressive. So more than 1 strikeout per inning, but only 3 walks allowed on the season. And Franklin, like many of her teammates, this is a young Mount Vernon team. A lot of sophomores in the starting 9 for the Marauders.
Yeah, very, very young team. Only just 2 seniors I think start and 5 sophomores. So for a ball club, a program that, according to Coach Markham, is getting better every year, boy, you got to like what you see in the future here. They're getting better every year, and they're young still, so they're only going to get better. Obviously, it would be the argument there.
Batting lineup for the Dragons. Jalen Calvert will lead things off, the center fielder. Michaela Jones, the shortstop, will bat second. Emily O'Connor, the third baseman, bats third. Macy Miller, the first baseman, the cleanup batter, batting fourth. Tatum Biddle, one of the many seniors on this New Pal club, will bat fifth. The DP and Lexi Campbell will bat sixth. And Matusha, the right fielder, will bat seventh. Reagan High at the catcher bats eighth. And Kinsey Mitchell in left field today will bat ninth for head coach Ed Markham. So Calvert will lead things off. The first 4 batters for this New Pal lineup, all batting .500 or better so far on the young season. Calvert, .524, her average. 4 home runs and 16 runs batted in. As a team, 17 home runs for New Pal. And if that impressive stat for some reason need further explanation, that's more than 2 per game so far on the season.
Well, they have absolutely hung some numbers on some people. They had number 3 ranked Yorktown the other night in 3A, and they beat them 17-0. So they can score runs.
And this one popped up, should spin just out of play, and it will. And the count goes to 0-2.
That one had a shot at your car.
I didn't park that close.
I told you not to park there, man. I'm parked like in like Bargersville somewhere. I'm way out of here. You got to earn it. You're going to hit my car.
Third baseman playing just a step in front of the bag. First baseman a little bit closer with the lefty at the plate. Wasted pitch at 0-2.
Yeah, I was going to say she looks like she wants another ball. I think
Yep.
that one got slipped out of her hand just a little bit.
Sure there will be a rotation today. Umbrella's put away for now. Outfield playing straight away for the leadoff hitter. And a swing and a miss. Good job to locate the pitch on the outside corner, and there's one down. Strikeout number 50 on the young season for Franklin.
Well, and again, just a really good pitch, good location, and good start for the sophomore.
So Michaela Jones now comes to the plate. Four home runs, 14 runs batted in. Roster says Michaela, lineup card says Mick.
I like the way Franklin has kind of a unique delivery there where she's just kind of showing you the ball, looking at, here it is, here it is.
Line drive and caught. The infield variety can of corn for the shortstop, and there's 2 down.
Then she puts it in her glove and kind of hides it from you a little bit and then delivers.
The art of pitching is all about breaking up the timing of the hitter.
Yep. Timing is hitting and pitching is upsetting timing.
Here comes O'Connor, the third baseman. She has slugged 6 home runs so far this season. And this one won't be a home run. Will be the first base hit of the game and could be extra bases. She'll stay right there. They need to force the issue with the play in front of her and 2 down.
Well, you see the replay here, a little inside-out swing, just gets enough of it to get it over the drawn-in infield there. First baseman playing in front of the bag. And the right fielder there, hassled in just too deep to really come up and make a play. You got to respect the power. And so she was playing deep, and the ball was able to drop in.
Given the fact that O'Connor's batting .625, I think you would take that hit every time if you're Mount Vernon.
Absolutely. No
hey, all right, we'll give you that one.
60 feet at a time.
So here comes Macy Miller, batting over .560 on the season. 10 runs batted in. Strike called. And to show the respect that Mount Vernon's outfield has for this powerful lineup, their outfielders are maybe 4 or 5 steps in front of the warning track.
Yeah,
all the way across.
Yeah, center fielder, if that, she might be just a step or 2.
It is that time of year where you can literally see the grass grow after the rain in the first inning.
Absolutely.
In the outfield.
Beautiful facility, though. Just an explosion of colors. You got the infield on the brick dust red and the green grass and the trees in the background.
Pop up. Center fielder drifting over. Had plenty of time to make the play, and New Pal will strand one. We are through 1 inning here at New Pal. Mount Vernon and the Dragons are scoreless as you're watching high school softball here on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network.
A working mom who brings her best to both roles. A community-owned telecom that connects her home with high-bandwidth fiber optic. Mom can work from home with fast, reliable connectivity and be there when the kids come home. When everyone logs on, the internet connections stay fast and the family stays connected. 9 Star Connect. Community-owned. Community strong.
Welcome back. Greg Rakestraw, Jim Leisure with you here on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network. 4, 5, and 6 coming up this time through for the Marauders of Mount Vernon. Our catcher and Samantha Bennett will lead things off. Jim mentioned just a couple of seniors in the starting lineup, only 3 on the roster. They're off to a fantastic start. Bennett batting .294 on the year with just a couple of runs batted in. Bullock did a good job of battling back from a 3-0 deficit to the first batter she faced and then got a couple of ground balls after that. When you have and O attached to your name, even after just a couple of weeks of the season, clearly it means your team's been doing a lot of things well. For both of these two teams, fielding has been fantastic. 9 errors so far this year for Mount Vernon, 5 for New Pal. Strike called, 0-2.
Great location there, right on the inside corner. Tough pitch to hit. Let's see if she comes right back in there as the umpire seems to be giving that inside pitch.
Just off the outside corner. That's about as good as you want to be at 0-2. You're not looking to hit that outside corner on this one. Reference the fact last inning that New Pal's batting .430 as a team. Mount Vernon into this game batting .373. Off the hands, diving effort, shortstop, going to be a tough play, and could not make it. I'm not even sure if a perfect throw gets Bennett down the first base line.
That would have been a difficult play to make. I mean, again, I'm not the official scorer, but if I were, I would probably score that an infield hit. Third baseman had an opportunity to field it. Shortstop in the hole there. Jones was able to field it and get rid of it, but she had to get rid of it quickly, and it brought the first baseman Miller off the bag. So, to me, that's a base hit.
So Maitland Griner, freshman, will be the courtesy runner as the catcher. And Bennett will go get the gear back on and get ready for the bottom half of the second inning. Neither of these two teams steal a lot of bases. 13 so far this year for Mount Vernon, 11 for New Pal.
I did not see Coach Kirby go through any signals at all, so I can't imagine, unless they've got a predetermined if you get on, you're stealing kind of thing. I can't imagine she's going to be moving on the pitch.
Puts the bunt down, but that is foul. Annalise Worden is at the plate, the third baseman, batting .348 on the season, and with 7 runs batted in.
That time Coach Kirby went through a series of signals, so we'll see what she's putting on. Maybe nothing. I mean, every coach has a good wipe-off. You put it on, you take it off.
Bunt placed down. Perfectly done. Throw on to the first baseman. Out-recorded 1-3, but a runner in scoring position for the Marauders.
A nice little sacrifice bunt there, and like you said, puts a runner in scoring position. You see the bunt, good bat placement. You want to keep the barrel of the bat up. Otherwise, you pop it up, and she couldn't have rolled it out there in a better spot.
So Macy Griner now to the plate. The elder of the two Griners currently on the field for Mount Vernon. She's a junior. Batting .409, does have 1 home run this season, and has 13 runs batted in. This one skied to right field. Right fielder barely has to move. Runner will hold at second base, and given the arm we just saw from the right fielder, probably a good decision. 2 down.
Yeah, I think she would have been out from me to you. Really good job of getting back on the softball, as it were. Weight back, catch it coming forward. Just fundamentally very sound. And like you said, just an absolute rocket.
So here comes Macy Cox, sophomore. She's the DP today for Mount Vernon. Lashes this one foul. Batting .261 on the season. Does have 2 home runs, 8 runs batted in. Kissy, Perry, and Cox, the players that each have a couple of home runs this year for Mount Vernon. And this one, left field, caught. Well played by the left fielder. That was Mitchell that made the play. And Mount Vernon will leave a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, very nicely done again. She's playing in on the left-handed hitter, so you have the left fielder playing a couple steps in. Saw it right off the bat, came in, made a nice little running catch to end the inning.
So 1.5 innings complete. Dragons will send Biddle, Carmichael, and the right fielder, and Tusher to the plate.
Well, each team has a hit apiece, and not quite the fireworks necessarily that I was anticipating. Just seeing the scores roll in for both of these ball clubs, really. And I know that both of them have really good pitching, too, and pitching really matters. But I was expecting maybe to see a little bit of, not fireworks necessarily, but just putting the ball in play.
There you see the record for Coach Markham at New Pal. You mentioned those fireworks. To put it in perspective, New Pal has scored at least 5 runs in every game. They have scored in double digits in 6 of their 8 games so far. And the 2 times they haven't, both have been against 4A competition. A 5-1 victory against Columbus East on April the 8th, and an 8-3 victory on against Franklin Central. That was 8 days ago. And Franklin Central, a team that in the not-too-distant past played in the 4A state championship game.
Absolutely. Yeah, programs are programs, and Franklin Central's definitely got a good program.
First pitch swinging. This one lashed foul. And they counted 0-1. So Biddle, the second baseman, batting .423 on the season. 5 runs batted in. Third baseman absolutely hugging the line for Mount Vernon. Now she kind of moves off of it as the ball is sent towards home plate. Count at 1-1.
I've seen Biddle play a couple different times, and one of the things I noticed is that she's kind of got a little bit of an inside-out type swing, so likes to take the ball the other way into the left center power gap.
1-2.
Obviously just behind that one and was not able to keep it fair, but that's what she likes to do. I mean, she's going to take the ball the other way. I haven't seen her play a whole lot, but at the games I've seen, I've not seen her pull the ball much.
Had a chance to talk to Mom before the game. Northern Kentucky, correct?
Absolutely. the Norse, whatever. I think it's some kind. I don't know what it is. To be honest with you, I'm sure it's some kind of like a dinosaur duck or something that I have no idea what it is.
You know, when I do IUPUI versus Northern Kentucky next year, I'll bring that up. Thank you.
Yeah, please do. I'm sure.
I'm familiar with disco duck. Dinosaur duck, not so much. 1-2. Liner, shortstop charges. Fields fires, again with a lefty batter. That's a tough play. But the shortstop and Perry made it look easy, and there's one away.
Again, went the other way with the thing, but again, just really good job feet. You see the shortstop pick it, set the feet, get rid of it. I mean, it's just really just pick it and flick it, man. You don't have a lot of time with a 60-foot base path. You got to get rid of it.
So Lexi Campbell, the DP, now to the plate for New Pal. Batting .474, 3 runs batted in. And would you like the explanation on the Norse mascot for Northern
Absolutely,
Kentucky?
please.
As someone who competed
You know
against NKU in their college days?
Please do, because I could use this some night in trivia.
All right, so here you go. So obviously Kentucky, horse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Northern Kentucky, Northern horse.
Wow.
Combine them to Norse.
Is that right?
Now, they use a Viking as their mascot, but that is the origin of the Norse.
I guess I was kind of hoping for something a little more, thought-provoking.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I hate it when facts get in the way of a good story.
No,
I
but
apologize.
Listen, I thought you were going to tell me some really good save hero, but just Northern horse Kentucky thing.
That's the best I can do.
You left me hanging. Just
Sorry to disappoint you. Real life sometimes isn't all that interesting. 0-2 the count. Off the hands, well struck, but again, off the hands, which took some of the pop out of it. Left fielder over to make the play. That's Myers, and a lot of Adam balls so far for New Pal, and there's 2 down.
Yeah, that one was there. Again, you talked about scouting, so they got her played almost perfectly there. She only had to take about 3 steps to her right, haul it in for the second out.
Now batting the right fielder, number 20, Emma Tusher.
So Emma Tusher, the right fielder. 304 on the season, couple of runs batted in. And both pitchers find the strike zone frequently.
Well, and early. That's the biggest thing. If you're a pitcher, you want to pitch ahead. It's fun to pitch when you're ahead. It's fun to hit when you're ahead. So, obviously, Franklin wants to get ahead. Nice pitch there to start the at-bat.
Ground ball, shortstop. In time. Got her by a step. And 6 of 7 batters have been retired by both pitchers so far. Scoreless through 2 here at New Pal as you're watching high school softball on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network. Thanks to John Payne and our great 9 Star Sports crew. Thanks for their hard work this afternoon. Scoreless here in the top of the 3rd inning. Number 1 New Pal, the 2-time defending 3A state champs. Mount Vernon 8-0. They are getting some votes, some points in the 4A poll. Coach Kirby down the third base line at Mount Vernon. Mark Weaver, assistant coach, on the first base side of things for Mount Vernon. 8-9-1, due up this time through. Allison Myers, left fielder, made a nice play last time up, and numbers you don't often see for the 8-hitter. I'll vouch for that average, 556.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was doing the lineup, and she hasn't played in all. She's played in 6 games, though, so she's had some at-bats.
Count evens up at 1-1.
Yeah, Bullock must have a little respect for her, too. She started her off with a nasty little curved first pitch. It broke out of the strike zone, but it certainly had some movement on it. This isn't the typical, hey, it's the 8-hole blow the ball by her kind of at bat here.
Rise ball couldn't catch up to it. 1-2 the count. For New Pal, they are scheduled to play 2 coming up on Saturday. They're going to play down at Seymour. In Seymour and Elkhart Central. Off the hands, second baseman. Hustles and gets Myers flying down the line, 1 away.
Really nice play because the ball had kind of that cue ball spin on it. Kind of inside-out swing. You can see it there when it hits the ground. It starts to break just a little bit from our left to right and picks it up, makes a nice play, and gets the out.
So Chloe Yoakum now, the first baseman. batting just 105 on the season, will come to the plate. There was some news from Seymour High School yesterday. Their athletic director will take over as their boys basketball coach next year at Seymour. He's rather qualified for the job. He played at Michigan State. Kirk Manns is the
is that right? I
is
guess I
the
did not realize
AD
that.
and now boys basketball coach at Seymour.
I'm sure he'll do a fantastic job.
What has also now been christened as the largest high school gym in the state of Indiana at Seymour High School.
That was a very interesting read in the Indianapolis Star a couple weeks ago.
There was a recount of the bleachers over at Newcastle, as well as the Lloyd E. Scott Gymnasium at Seymour, and it was determined that there are over 8,200 seats at Seymour as the rain starts back up here at New Pal. Count is at 2-1. They are both fantastic places to watch or broadcast a game from.
Been to Newcastle many times, never been to Seymour.
Had the pleasure of doing the semi-state there the last 3 years. 3-1 the count. Of course, from the 9-star footprint, Shenandoah
Absolutely
played down there just about a month ago. 3-1 the count. And laying off the rise ball in the rare walk, and of all batters, it's to the number 9 hitter that draws the walk for Mount Vernon.
Well, those are the things that drive coaches crazy. I mean, I said it earlier. I mean, when you get 7, 8, 9, a coach is always going to tell a kid, look, we're at the bottom, 7, 8, 9, let's get ahead, let's get through this quickly. The last thing you want to do is put people on base when you have your 1, 2, 3 hitters coming up.
Like Zoe Taylor will be the player that will come in and run here for Mount Vernon. So Yoakum, the first baseman, I'm sure will re-enter in the bottom half of the inning. So Haley Kissy to the plate, and again, she had a 3-0 count in her favor first time through, but Bullock managed to battle back and get the strikeout. That walk for Bullock, just her 5th on the season. She's in the low 20 in terms of number of innings on the year, so that's still an outstanding average.
Well, there's probably nobody more upset about the walk than her, I'm sure.
And she comes right back and finds the zone perfectly, 0-2.
See a little bit of a smile there from Bullock to her catcher. They know they can have a little fun here with this pitch.
Goes off the zone. Some of the volunteer umpires thought that was a strike.
They're not always the best people to ask.
They're good people.
Yeah, wonderful.
Not
people.
on this subject. I would agree with you. Pops straight up. Left fielder. Fighting the raindrops. Able to make the play. That's Mitchell, and there's 2 down.
Yeah, one of the things that earlier today was very, very windy, and I was wondering whether or not the wind was going to be a factor in this ballgame. Wind is not really an issue, but like you said, it's when you're staring up to the skies trying to catch a softball and there's raindrops hitting you in the face, it can be a little taxing.
You and I were talking about this, too. Obviously, in softball, you have the yellow ball. If this were baseball, you'd be fighting a really tough – it'd be hard to locate the ball.
Absolutely. This would be a tough sky if this was a baseball.
Yep. So hassled the right fielder. Ground ball to shortstop last time up. Jones made an outstanding play on the slap hitter. This time she turns on it and sends this one towards the gap. This could score a run. Runner, though, stumbles coming around second. She'll stop right there. It will be a double, but no run scored yet from Mount Vernon. But the Marauders have the first extra base hit of this game.
Well, and they got the 3-hole coming up in Sidney Perry batting .484, so we'll see how the Dragons approach her. They do have first base open. Certainly you don't want to walk the 3-hole to get to the 4-hole necessarily. But this is about as dangerous a hitter as probably Mount Vernon has in their lineup. So we'll see how Coach Markham and his staff, and Coach Markham started to step out. I thought maybe he was going to call timeout and go out to talk with Kaylee Bullock, but he's not. He's just shouting some instruction from the dugout.
For Hassel, that's her 3rd extra base hit of the season, her 2nd double. And this one got by the catcher, but there's not much room behind home plate here, as is the case in most softball facilities.
Yeah, and then the ball, of course, luckily for New Pal, bounced right back to the catcher, Hyatt, so absolutely no opportunity for the base runner to advance. Yoakum at third base.
Bullock has allowed 5 earned runs on the season. First time that either team has had multiple runners on the base pass. Elevated that one, and it was sent foul. 1-1 the count. Perry, in terms of average, the top batter. As far as regular rotational players for the Marauders. At 484. Second to Myers, the number 8 hitter, I should say. Just missed inside, 2-1.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. It was a good location, great pitch. I mean, just off the plate, but a great pitch here. And the umpire's been not slow, but just he takes a really good look at it before he makes his call, and I was wondering whether he's going to call that.
Foul ball. That might have been ball 3, frankly, but
yeah,
didn't lay off the inside fastball. Perry does lead the Marauders in RBI with 17. And Bullock is wanting a drier softball to try to send towards home plate.
Yeah, I'm sure over in the home dugout there, they probably have around 6 or 8 balls that they're just drying off. They probably have some ball dry over there, as well as a towel, obviously, and probably some young, unsuspecting freshman has been given that job.
Hopped up, shortstop, rolls over, makes the play, inning over, and the threat goes by without a run for Mount Vernon. We've played 2.5 here at New Pal. It is still scoreless with the Dragons coming to bat.
Well, that's the shortstop's ball. I mean, a lot of times you'll see the third baseman go over and try to make that play or left fielder come in, but nice job by Jones to go over and make the play.
So far, no runs, 2 hits, no errors for Mount Vernon. They have left 3 batters or 3 runners on the base paths. For New Pal, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and they have left 1 runner on the base paths so far. So 8, 9, and 1 coming up this time through.
Very similar to the last inning where, again, I'm sure that Coach Kirby has told Franklin, hey, again, go out, get ahead. Let's get these first 2 outs. We'll worry about 1, 2, and 3, hopefully with 2 outs. It's a little easier to play defense that way. It's a little easier to pitch that way.
So Hyatt, Mitchell, and Calvert do up this time through for New Pal. Hyatt on the season, batting .429, a home run, and 4 runs batted in. First pitch swinging and sends that one foul.
Just a little bit late, a little bit behind the pitch there. Lights are on here.
And liner. And again, Hyatt quickly realizing I gotta leg this one out. There could be a play at first base. Right fielder and Hasselt with a good throw to Yoakum, who, as expected, did re-enter in the bottom half of the inning for Mount Vernon.
Yeah, just tried the very rare 9-3 put out. It does happen. It even happens in the big leagues every now and then. Normally it's when somebody's not hustling. They're so happy they got a base hit. They're kind of jogging their way down to first, and you get somebody with a nice arm, and all of a sudden they find themselves out at first.
Kendall Calvert will enter as the courtesy runner for the catcher in Hyatt, who makes the about face back to the dugout.
Rain appears to be picking up just a little bit here, as I can see it through the window and the netting here.
It is a good day to be in the press box.
Absolutely.
So Mitchell, the left fielder, has made a couple of nice plays defensively.
And now it's coming down.
And here comes the wind as well. I think this is the cold front coming through, kids.
And it was days like this, Greg, that made me decide to stick with coaching football. At least you expect this weather in football. But in baseball and softball, you stand out there in this kind of weather. It may not be raining enough to stop the game, but it's certainly, after you stand in it for about 5 minutes, you're absolutely soaked, just miserable.
There's somebody that's got a beautiful Masters umbrella down by the third base home dugout for New Pal, and I lost a Masters umbrella on a windy day like this covering a football state finals one day. Yep. So as a piece of advice, I think I'd close that thing just to be safe.
Maybe you don't bring that one.
Yeah.
That umbrella's nicer in my house, though. It's pretty nice.
Well, it is from Augusta National.
Yeah.
So 1-0 the count. That's in for a strike.
The runner Hyatt actually started on the pitch and then chose to go back. Coach Markham with some very just basic signals, just kind of touched his belt. Touched the letters on his pullover there.
Again, lets that go by. Clearly the job of the number 9 hitter is to get the runner to second base, knowing the tremendous pop you've got in the lineup.
Right.
Getting ready to roll through.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how you do it, whether you do it with a walk, you can do it with a bunt, you can do it with a base hit. But like you said, the idea is to get the runner advanced.
Strike called. They will throw behind the runner, but Calvert dives back in with minimal problem. Mitchell on the season is batting .333. However, when you break that down a bit further, she is 1 for 3 on the season. So she has now appeared in all 9 games, but getting a somewhat rare chance to hit in today's game. Two and two, and make that an about face the dugout. A little bit of an off-speed pitch that Mitchell couldn't time out properly. There's one down.
Well, that's exactly right. She just, the timing of it was off, and she had just a good look at it, but swung right through it. And if you're Franklin, you got to like the fact that you at least got the out. You certainly didn't want the 9-hole to get on in front of the 8-hole. So.
Number 6, Jalen Calvert.
So at the top of the lineup, Calvert struck out last time up. Misses low and away, 1-0 the count. The strikeout you just saw, and to the leadoff batter for New Pal, the only 2 so far for Franklin. But her strikeout to walk ratio this year now 51-3. That'd be 17-1 if you want to put it in those perspectives.
Franklin really just kind of taking a lot of time out there, making sure the ball's dry enough.
2-0 the count. Pair of base hits so far, both to right field. O'Connor back in the first, and Hyatt to lead off this inning.
Very dangerous hitter here. 2-0 count, good pitch to hit.
And puts a charge into that one.
Calvert, I believe, is the young lady that is committed to Auburn. So you know she can play. And again, the last thing, if you're a pitcher, you want to throw it, a 2-0 fastball that you got to get a large part of the plate. That one was a well-placed pitch, but Calvert did a nice job of trying to put it in play.
Ground ball. They will tag the lead runner, throw on to first, and got it. Double play. They'll double them up. A 4-3 double play, and we remain scoreless through 3 innings. Best defensive play of the game. You just witnessed it. You don't have time to go to second. Got to go the short distance.
Yeah, and if you're the runner there, you got to stop. And Coach Markham is coaching her up right now. Reagan Hyatt over there, he's saying, listen, you can't run into the tag. You got to stop.
Scoreless through 3 innings. Mount Vernon and New Pal. We're back after this on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network.
This month,
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
comedy comes in 3s. No pranks here. It's the Fools of April on April Fools. We've got a marathon with one wild and crazy guy. Steve Martin on April 13th. And finally,
You haven't heard of Cheech and Chong?
a true blunt of a stunt on 420.
Welcome back, Greg Rakestraw, Jim Leisure with you. They're on 9 Star on the ISC Sports Network. There you see the 3A coaches poll. Of course, New Pal able to win their Second consecutive 3A championship last year. They have claimed that honor 5 times now in the last 15 years. What was new and unique about last year was the location of the state championship game. Played at Purdue University for the first time. 4, 5, and 6 coming up. I had the pleasure of being on the call for the 1A and 2A games last year, and I loved Ben Davis, but, man, Purdue's got an awesome complex.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you had the opportunity to do that because I know a lot of the people speaking for the community of New Palestine, they loved it. They came back wonderful. And they raved about it.
We're all spoiled living in central Indiana. So many of the state finals
sure.
get to be in central Indiana. You always worry about going a little further away from home, but once you get there and see what Purdue has to offer, that was an absolute wonderful decision. 2-hopper, second baseman, fires over to first. That's Biddle to Miller, and there's one down.
Another fast start for Bullock.
And Elise Warden now to the plate for Mount Vernon. Sacrifice bunt last time up for the junior. Of course, last year's state champs very much had a central Indiana feel. Pioneer, the only one from kind of outside of the metro Indy area to claim a state championship in 1A. Speedway in 2A, New Pal in 3A, and Decatur Central won the 4A championship last year.
Yeah, it's funny because Decatur Central's football team got all the way to the 5A state finals. It seems like that happens a lot. Pioneer's football team, very good, and then their softball team, so sometimes success breeds success at a lot of schools.
1-2 the count.
Good 0-2 pitch. I mean, just get her, see if she could fish out something and either strike out and miss, or if she's going to hit that, she's not going to hit it hard, and you get a cheap out of it. But
great plate discipline shown by Warden. That's a tough pitch to lay off of.
Yeah, it didn't miss by much. If it missed at all, that looked like a pretty good pitch to me.
Count it 2-2. Now she's worked the count from 0-2 to full.
Yeah, that pitch was up. That's clearly a ball.
And this one, center field. Wynn knocks that down a little bit. Center fielder had plenty of time and room. That's Calvert to make the play. And there's 2 down.
Well, she does a really nice job. Always start back on the ball when you're not sure. You can see her take 2 or 3 steps back. You can always plant your foot. It's a heck of a lot easier to come running in than it is to go running back. So really nice, good, strong, fundamental play by Calvert in center field.
First pitch, ground ball, 3 up and 3 down. First batter faced by Bullock was a strikeout. Everybody else has made an out in the field of play or had a base hit. It all adds up to another 0 on the board, and we're scoreless through 3.5.
Well, again, pitch counts is not quite the situation it is in baseball for softball pitchers, but you still like to have innings there. I think she got the first hitter in 3 pitches. She got the second one in about 4, and then just 1 pitch there. So about a 9-pitch inning for Bullock. So you got to like that if you're Coach Markham and his staff. See a good shot of some of the fans taking cover under trees and umbrellas and all kinds of things, anything they can find out here.
So due up this time through for New Pal. 2, 3, and 4. And they've been limited to just 2 base runners so far in this game.
We are cruising right along, though, Greg.
It's the joy of this game.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a late start. Started at 5:40 or so. Scheduled to start at 5:30. This one is just clicking right along.
Jones, liner the shortstop last time up. Swings over top of that one. Does the junior.
She might have been looking for a different pitch, too, because she was a little bit behind that. Way up in the box.
Third baseman steps and fires, and well done. That's the first time I think we've seen Warden field a ball defensively in this game, and lasered that one to first base, and there's 1 away.
Well, I keep saying this over and over again, just really good footwork, good body position, fields the baseball on her throwing hand side. It fires it off to first base, strike, get the out.
Of the 11 batters faced so far for Franklin, that's the 4th ground ball out she's picked up. You could almost say 5 because of the double play that took place last inning. First pitch swinging, couple of hopper to the second baseman. These young ladies are playing like they're renting the facility. There's 2 down.
Well, and again, it's fun to watch when the game's played well. And these are 2 really good teams, and this has been an enjoyable game. It's going to break. Somebody's going to get a run or 2 here. It should get exciting here in the later innings.
Miller fly ball to center field last time up. First pitch swinging. A familiar refrain. Shortstop fires over to first. Put another 0 on the board. We are through 4 innings here at New Pal. Scoreless between these county and conference rivals. Marauders come to bat when we come back as you're watching on 9 Star on the ISC Sports Network.
Hi everyone, I'm Matt, the 9 Star Energy Advisor. Today we're going to be talking about saving energy with your windows and doors.
Windows and doors are a weak spot in your home. The R value of a window or door is much less than insulated walls. A great way to control energy costs is to make sure you properly seal and insulate exterior windows and doors. Check the caulking or air sealing around the outside of your windows and doors. Caulk shrinks and cracks over time, so you should keep an eye on it over the years and repair as needed. Take a close look at your windows and doors to make sure the weather stripping is intact and not damaged. Storm doors are helpful, but if you have one, make sure it closes properly. Check the weather stripping around your windows and again make sure it is intact. Additionally, make sure to caulk the inside of the windows and doors.
Thanks for watching this energy savings tip brought to you by your friends at 9 Star.
To the top of the 5th we go. 7, 8, and 9 coming up this time through for the Marauders. Macy Cox, Allison Myers, and Chloe Yoakum.
Well, those 3 people, I think, well, I got Cox flying out to left and a 4-3 for Myers and Yoakum. So they're people that put the ball in play.
Briefly saw the conference standings in the Hoosier Heartland Conference. Of course, very early in the season. Strike called the number 7 hitter, who had a fly ball to left field last time up. Of course, while it is right at about the midway point of the season, kind of from a date perspective, you're a little over a month away from the postseason for each of these teams. Next weekend is the softball pairing show,
which seems to me to be incredibly early.
It is. No one fouled back. Count goes to 1-2. Pairing shows in the spring for baseball, softball, and tennis.
Seems like in football and basketball, there's only just maybe a game or 2 left in the regular season when they have their pairing show. To have it in the mid-season seems odd.
A little high, 2-2 the count. I'll ask, did she swing? Nope.
Tough call for the umpire down the first base line to decide whether or not a left-handed batter actually broke her hands, but it did not look like she did.
We'll do it again at 2-2.
Looks like the rain has stopped here a little bit, but I'm sure, again, everyone's nice and soaking wet out there, and people are just trying to stay a little bit warm and loose.
High and in tight, full count. Reference the fact that New Pal is scheduled to play 2 on Saturday. I say scheduled because the weather is not set up to be all that great the next couple of days.
Yeah, and actually Saturday's weather I think actually is predicted to be worse than today's.
Good time for a scheduled weekend off for Mount Vernon. Strike called. Throw on to first. Complete the out. And there's one away.
And we may get another look at this pitch here. Man, that looked – I mean, for a pitcher standpoint, I'd stay – if you're going to call that pitch a strike, I'd throw every pitch there. Looked to be just out of the zone there. Not going to get the replay, doesn't look like, but tough call for Cox there.
First strikeout since the top of the first for Bullock, her second of the game. Did go around, no doubt about that one. Myers a ground ball to second base last time up. Next on the schedule for Mount Vernon will be trip to Delta next week.
She went again there, almost the exact same kind of half swing. We used to tell hitters all the time, good swing or no swing. Once you decide to unload, then swing. Check swings don't normally work out very well for you anyway, so if you're going to swing, let it fly.
And a swing and a miss. So back-to-back strikeouts. 2 down. And Yoakum worked the walk last time up. This completes the second trip through the lineup for Mount Vernon. They have had 3 base runners so far, a single, a walk, and a double. But they stranded runners on second and third to end the third. And the number 9 hitter reveling in the fact that she makes it to first base for a second time in as many trips.
Making it the hard way, getting hit by the pitch there. And I had her getting on the last time. What do you have for her, Greg, last time? How'd she get on?
Walk.
Well, it was a walk, thank you.
So the top of the lineup rolls through for Kissy. Off the hands, shortstop diving in, can't get it. Everybody's safe. Great effort, just couldn't get there in time.
Yeah, the ball right off the fist, it looked like, and shortstop playing about normal depth, just couldn't come in and make the play. The base runner going at second base, there's nobody covering third right now, but did not choose with 2 outs to risk making the third out at third base.
So here's Hasselt, who doubled last time up. Well, Vernon's got something going here. Swing and a miss. But for the second time in as many opportunities they've had, when they've gotten multiple runners on the base paths, there's been 2 outs both times. Third baseman, going to be tough.
I think the call was safe, obviously, from the and it looked to me like she beat the throw.
I would agree.
Nice job of slapping it out to the third baseman here. Has no real play. Maybe has a tag there, doesn't take it.
Yeah, you're not going to make that play at first.
No, and she's through the bag. That's a good call. Seemed like there was a little hesitation. Everyone just kind of stared at each other. I didn't see the umpire make the call. I couldn't hear it. And
but I would agree with that was the right call. So bases loaded. And the number 3 batter in Perry, who fouled out to the shortstop when she had runners at second and third last time she was up to bat.
No, but just like last time, we said, she is batting .484. I don't know that if you're a Mount Vernon Marauder fan that you have anybody else that you want at the plate in this situation than her. We'll see whether or not she just maybe tries to choke up just a little bit and shorten the swing, shorten the whole thing, and just try to put something in play hard. She's down on the bottom, but right on the handle of the bat.
And fouls it straight back. Ground ball to second base, her previous plate appearance. So hits 3 and 4 this inning for Mount Vernon. 0-2.
Nice pitch, little off-speed pitch, and Perry was way out in front of it.
I had some late movement too, didn't it?
Yeah, it looked like it, yeah.
Off speed, but it did tail at the very end.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to waste that one at 0-2. No problem there.
Yeah, you know, if she's going to get herself out, you're going to let her.
This one drilled. Left field. Left fielder looks back off the base of the wall. 2 runs will score. They'll hold a runner at third. It looked when she hit that one, that could be a grand slam. They'll settle for a 2-run double. And Mount Vernon claims the game's first 2 runs.
Yeah, you look at it, just great extension and great finish and follow through. And I'm like you, just the sound of the bat and the arc of the ball. I would have thought that ball was going to get out of here as well. I don't know if the wind held it up. I don't know if it was just the atmosphere. It's obviously very moist, but that ball hits just off the base of the left field fence. And if again you're a Mount Vernon fan, you're celebrating and taking the 2 runs. You're not complaining. You'd like to see the ball carry another 5 feet or so, but just a huge spot for the 3-hole to come through in a close ball game.
So after striking out the first 2 batters of the inning, you hit the number 9 batter. The next 2 batters both get infield singles, and then a second double of the game for Mount Vernon. This one coming from number 3 hitter in Perry, and it gives Mount Vernon a 2-run advantage.
Well, it tailed 2 innings, too, because we had just said the last inning, I think Bullock pitched like 7 or 8 pitches, got through the inning. And now just all kinds of trouble. And it's not over yet. I mean, you still got the 4-hole batting, so you need it out here if you're new, pal. And if you're Mount Vernon, you're trying to get 2 more.
And Bennett does have a base hit today. That misses. 1-0 the count.
Pitch might have been up. I mean, it was clearly over the plate and had, like you said, just some really nice movement on it.
Bennett had a leadoff single back in the second. Foul tip. 1-1 the count. Ground ball to second her last time up.
And just a little bit behind that pitch. And I do not teach hitting to softball players, but, man, if I was a coach, I'd like to see a kid just choke up just a little bit, maybe an inch, and just get the bat through the hitting zone quicker.
Foul tip into the mitt. 1-2. And once again, Bullock is 1 pitch away from getting out of the jam. This one hit well, but left fielder has a beat on it. That's Mitchell. And the inning is over. 4 consecutive batters reach. 2 score for Mount Vernon, all with 2 outs in the inning. Through 4.5, we'll keep it here, but Mount Vernon has the first 2 runs of this game, courtesy of Sidney Perry.
Well, again, just good defensive placement by Mitchell. Barely had to move. Makes a nice play. And look, now we're going to see. I mean, this is obviously a veteran New Pal ball club and a very good one with a lot of senior leadership. We got a lot of girls committed to play in college. So, all right, you've been kicked. You're down. What are you going to do about it? Okay, and I'm sure Coach Markham is expecting his kids to respond to this. It's 2 runs. It's not the end of the world. Let's see what we can do.
So we point out that New Pal has scored at least 5 runs in every game this year. They scored as many as 21, and that was yesterday at Zionsville.
You look at the upcoming ball game here on 9 Star TV. You got the Pendleton Heights Arabians taking on the Shenandoah Raiders on Tuesday, April 23rd. So that'll be the next broadcast. I'm not sure what day the game will be played. I think a lot of these are tape delay, but
that game takes place on Monday night.
Okay.
I'll have the call with Joel Brantingham on that one.
Joel's a friend of mine. Worked a lot of basketball games with Joel this past winter. Waiting on the catcher here to get out there and warm up. That's Bennett Franklin.
And she was the last batter to.
Yeah. A lot of times you have somebody on the bench, including a coach, you could go out there and warm up the pitcher, but maybe not. I know I wouldn't get back there with wrap me in bubble wrap, and I wouldn't get back there. And believe me, it'd take a lot of bubble wrap too. So
this New Pal team last year lost just 1 time on their way to that state championship. Her lone loss came to another outstanding team in Center Grove, a multi-time state champion. That was 3-2 was a score in that game last April. So trailing for them is rare. And immediately, first pitch, belted towards center field. Biddle smacks that one back up the middle.
Well, again, just going a little bit the other way of second base. That's just the way she likes to hit. And I noticed before the pitch was thrown, the Mount Vernon outfielders, it wouldn't have mattered on that ball, obviously. But, I mean, they are playing deep. The center fielder is literally a step in front of the warning track. That ball, of course, got out there in the wet grass and just absolutely died. We'll see if Coach Markham puts a play on here. He's still got some pretty good hitters up. I don't know if you want to take the bat out of their hands.
Carmichael, or Campbell, excuse me, left fielder. Lays off the riser. Fly ball to left field last time for Campbell.
When you got a team batting average of 430, you're probably not bunting the ball much. You're just cutting them loose.
Yeah, I think small ball for New Pal means hitting over the fence.
Hitting it barely over the fence.
Yep. And they've got 17 home runs on the season. Really have not threatened with anything like that in this game.
And Campbell's at 2-0. Great pitch to hit. Great count if you're a hitter. Looking for your favorite pitch. If you see it, you unload. If you don't see it, you let it go. You bat 2-1.
And for a strike?
Yeah. Pitch on the inner half, probably not one that you want that you can necessarily unload on. So, you just let you take it. You're still ahead, really, up 2 balls and 1 strike. Looking for a mistake, looking for something out over the middle of the plate.
3-1 the count now.
And I used to tell hitters all the time, 3-1 is exactly the same as 2-0. You're looking for your favorite pitch. If you get it, unload on it. If you don't get it, umpire calls it a strike. We're still alive at 3-2.
Second time in 5 innings, by the way, that New Pal's gotten the leadoff runner aboard. Foul tip, full count.
I've watched Ed Markham for years. He does a fantastic job with these girls and just coaching them right there. He's just talking to Campbell, and he's a little. You saw a little frustration there, but he was smiling. He was coaching. He wasn't yelling at anybody. He was instructing. There's a difference.
Line drive, in for a base hit. Runner will stop at second. Well, you said it very well at the end of the top half of the inning. This is such a senior-laden team. They're not used to being behind, but they're so experienced that you kind of think they'd snap out of it, and maybe they are here.
Yeah, I think they all look at each other, and they're all just wondering which one of us is going to be the person who delivers the hit. Just a nice job of hitting there just inside the line. Coach Markham thought about bringing the runner, Biddle, from second to third, but then thought wisely of it and held her up. Big situation here, first and second, nobody out.
Pinch runner Sarah Green will come in and run for Campbell. Campbell's the DP, so
yeah,
it'll be maybe an inning or two before her spot would come back up in the lineup. So Emma Tusher now. Ground ball to shortstop, and now with runners on first and second, do you think about putting the ball down here?
Well, now you're starting to get a little deeper in the lineup too. So yeah, in a 2-run ball game, you might want to think about it. Tusher's not, as you can see, the largest of statured young lady, so she's probably not going to be the power hitter that you're just going to cut loose and let her swing. Wouldn't surprise me to see a bunt here.
Hyatt does have a home run who was in the on-deck circle for New Pal. Tusher puts it down, and it will work its way foul.
Yeah, these are those situations that I really like in a baseball or a softball game. It's like everyone in the building knows what's going to happen, and yet, number one, the pitcher has to execute, so she doesn't want to give her a great pitch to bunt. The bunter, or the hitter, then has to execute, and defensively, you got to execute. These are fun times. I don't think there's any real drama here necessarily. Everyone knows what's going to happen. It's just now a matter of which competitor is going to come out on top.
Bunt put down. First baseman makes the play. Second baseman's there. Out at first base, but runners in scoring position that could tie the game for the Dragons.
Well, and that's where you want them, obviously. So
great job by the first baseman to Make sure the out is recorded. 3-4.
Yeah, you saw the way she set her feet. When she actually picked up the baseball, she had turned her body where all she had to do was pick it up and just flip it to first. You've seen some kids pick the ball up, then spin. It's a much tougher play to do it that way. She did it very fundamentally well.
Hyatt, ground ball base hit to right field last time up. That would probably score both runs in this scenario.
Yeah, as deep as the Mount Vernon outfielders are playing, if you get a single and the ball's going to get caught up in this wet grass. So if you get it through the infield, it's scoring 2.
Liner, right field, caught. Runner will tag, throw up the line, runner advances. 2 outs, 2-1, tying run 60 feet away.
Well, if you're a hitter, especially an 8-hole, you did your job. You got the sacrifice fly in. You got the runner at home. Couldn't really tell, again, whether the tag, whether she left early, left on time. It's difficult to say at this level without, the camera angles and stuff. The umpires felt that she was okay, and we got a 2-1 ball game.
And you do have the bases umpire stationed right there at third base to watch the play as well. So number 9 hitter in Mitchell struck out last time up again. She has not had many at-bats this year. And clearly everybody expecting something on the ground because the shortstop, third baseman, and first baseman can hear what Mitchell is thinking. That's how close they are to home plate.
And Mitchell had a big rip at it, and the bat actually came out of her hands. Luckily, they have the netting here, and bat was able to stay in the ballpark. Coach Markham wants to have a quick word with her. He's showing a tremendous amount of confidence in a young lady who's not. I mean, this is a big at bat. I mean, you need this run. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you don't get it, but clearly you'd love to have it. But this is one of those things where this young sophomore needs to grow up a little bit. She needs to be in this situation. How do you know if a kid can hit in a pressure situation unless you ever put her in a pressure situation?
It's the outside corner, strike 2.
Yeah, the umpire's been calling that pitch all night, to the left-handed hitter. It's a tough ball to hit. I said it earlier. If I was a pitcher and I had a left-handed hitter, I'd throw every ball there. I'm not sure that, you could hit that with a tennis racket.
Foul back.
And that one got a little bit more over the plate. I'm sure Franklin did not want to leave it that far over the plate.
Now, Jim, you said that knowing I was a college tennis player, right?
I did.
See, well done.
Because when I first looked at you, I thought.
That's immediately what I look like as a tennis player, yes.
I was thinking Borg, Sampras.
Sure. 0-2 the count. Line drive in fair territory, base hit. So game is tied. Mitchell will have a double. And 2 on the board for Mount Vernon. The 5th answered by 2 on the board and maybe more for New Pal.
What a great piece of hitting. I mean, the young lady at second base has got to just be absolutely ecstatic. The ball just inside the chalk line. You'll see the replay here. Really good inside-out swing. Third baseman pulled in, couldn't get it. Clearly a fair ball. And how about the sophomore? How about coming through? We talked. I said, you got to put a kid in a situation. How do you know if they can deliver if you never put them in these situations? Huge.
That is her second base hit of the year. And the top of the lineup comes through in Calvert. And Calvert does have 16 runs batted in. Ground ball to second last time up. Swing that time off the hands foul. For Mitchell, that is her first run batted in this season.
And when the ball was actually, called, when time was called, as she was jumping up and down on the bag, I thought she was going to beat it into the ground.
Oh for 2 on the game is Calvert. Line drive, this one off the glove of the third baseman, and again, there's no play. That's a base hit.
Yeah, Perry wisely held on to that thing. You don't want to risk a throw. You're not going to get it out anyway. You're literally just throwing the ball around. You'll see it here. It's off the third baseman's glove. Great job of backing the play up by Perry. She has no chance to get the runner, so don't throw it around. Don't risk it. Just hold it, eat it. We'll play first and third, 2 outs.
A little meeting of the minds inside the circle. And Mount Vernon has played so well, and yet maybe they're 1 base hit away from trailing. The number 1 team in 3A.
Well, but if you're Coach Perry, though, regardless of what happens here, even if you give up the lead, you got to come back to the dugout and say, ladies, this is one heck of a softball team, and we are right there with them. We are toe-to-toe. So regardless of what happens here, I think if you're Mount Vernon and your coach, Coach Kirby, you just, you coach your kids and you encourage them.
So Jones, line drive to shortstop, ground ball to third in her previous plate appearances.
Coach Markham made a couple points to his front shoulder, her front shoulder, telling Jones, hey, keep the shoulder in, drive the ball. Don't pull out on it.
And these two teams played last year. It was 13-4. Ball got away from the pitcher, and a run's going to score. Runner was stealing second base, and I'm not sure if that was a throw down to try to get the runner at second.
And actually, I don't think it was. It was kind of a delayed steal,
Yep.
and the catcher, Bennett, just kind of flipped the ball back to Franklin, and it was just a poor throw, and nobody was really, and the second baseman wasn't covering. She wasn't in a position to field the errant throw. Just unfortunate. Again, you've got a young softball team here, and Coach Kirby's going to go out and try to settle them down. That's just one of those things. The ball got away, and there was nobody there to pick it up because they weren't breaking for the bag.
Well,
they were going to give the bag up.
We have talked about earlier in the broadcast how both these teams have done a great job from a fielding perspective on the course of the season. Both these teams single digits in terms of errors for the year. Unfortunately, the first error of the game just gave New Pal their first lead of the contest.
Well, again, we talked about it, and you brought it up again. I wasn't surprised. I really expected this New Pal team to respond. Bad things happen to good people every day, and that's not important. What's important is how you choose to deal with it. And I just know that with this veteran ball club and with as much talent as Ed Markham has, that his kids, like I said, we're just going to say, we got this. It's just a matter of who is going to get the big hit.
Now can Jones provide a little breathing room for New Pal because, again, another run is now just 60 feet away. Off the hands, popped up, and that ball will spin into foul territory.
Very wisely done there by Warden, who decided to come in and just take a chance on that thing spinning foul, and it did.
Jones batting over 500 in the season, but 0 for 2 today. Has driven in 14 runs this year and has left the ballpark 4 times.
Yeah, there would have been no play on that ball anyway. Had that ball stayed fair, there's nobody going to throw her out at first base.
This one, right fielder coming in foul territory, makes the play, and the inning is over. However, New Pal responds. Give up 2, get back 3. Dragons lead by 1 going to the top half of the 6th inning as you're watching on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network.
A working mom who brings her best to both roles. A community-owned telecom that connects her home with high-bandwidth fiber optic. Mom can work from home with fast, reliable connectivity and be there when the kids come home. When everyone logs on, the internet connections stay fast and the family stays connected. 9 Star Connect. Community-owned. Community strong.
Greg Rakestraw, Jim Leisure with you here on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network. On behalf of all the folks at the ISC Sports Network, thank you so much to our friends at 9 Star, for carrying the ISC Sports Network, but also submitting so much of their quality programming so folks from outside of the 9 Star footprint can see it on a statewide basis via ISC. And frankly, I'm not sure if we could broadcast the Hoosiers Union All-Star game at Knightstown on Saturday without our friends from 9 Star. So everybody at 9 Star, we appreciate your support and partnership with the ISC Sports Network.
Yeah, it's just a huge deal for these kids and these players and these coaches.
Pop straight up. Shortstop, and Jones makes the play, and there's one down. We talked about, the expected response from New Pal.
Mm-hmm.
Now how does this young team bounce back from Mount Vernon?
Well, again, if I'm Coach Kirby, I just tell them, ladies, we're fine. You know what? We are playing the number 1 team in the state, quite possibly of any class, and we're 3-2. We're all right. We got 2 more opportunities to score some runs. Let's keep it positive. Let's go out and get something done.
Macy Griner. I noticed the jacket she was wearing in center field and keeps it on for her at bat at the plate.
She might want to keep it on for a couple of days because I think the high temperature the next 2 days is only going to be in the 40s. And then after that, I think we got a week of 70s. So,
Well, she gets her common sense from her mom, and I can say that since I went to college with both mom and dad.
Is that right?
Absolutely. I see Stacy bundled up down the first baseline as we speak. Count is 0-2. Ground ball, Jones plays the hop, fires over to first, and gets the speedy grinder down the line, and there's 2 away.
Really nicely done there by Jones. That ball takes an extra hopper. She, she couldn't really charge the big hop. She had to wait for the second one, but gets rid of it quickly and on target and just in time. And then, the converse too, Greg, if you're new pal, if you're Coach Markham, you tell your kids, listen, all right, we are down 2-0, we're up 3-2. Now we need to end this. We need, we've let them hang close. Now we need to end it.
Cox gets a bat to it, but foul ball. 0-1 the count.
And obviously, as a coach, both those things can't happen, okay? But that's what you tell your kids. This is what we're going to do. This is what they're going to try to do. And now you just go out and you play the game. You see what happens.
If you're thinking about tacking on some insurance runs in the bottom half of the 6th, if you're new pal, you've got the group to do it because 3, 4, and 5 are coming up next.
I think that's all they think about. I mean, 17 home runs at .434 team batting average. I bet they're always thinking about tacking on runs, even during the school day.
Little lineup, caught by the third baseman, and a relatively easy top half of the 6th from the new pal perspective. They'll try to stretch this lead that is 3-2 when we'll keep it right here going to the bottom half of the 6th. And again, that's as easy as you like for the third baseman.
Yeah, you almost, you put, I guess, fly to third, F5, but that wasn't really much of a fly. It wasn't a line drive. It was just kind of an excuse-me swing and easy play. And again, you see Franklin taking the field. You see Coach Kirby giving her a high five, big smile on her face. This is a young softball team who seems to be enjoying themselves right now. I mean, they're in the game, and they're going to continue to compete. And the idea is to get better every day. I used to coach with a guy who every day after practice would say, gentlemen, every day you get better or you get worse. You never stay the same, because if you stay the same, there's a chance your competition got better, and that makes you worse. So Mount Vernon's trying to get better today. They may not win this game. I don't know. We'll see here in the next inning and a half. But this has been an exciting game, and if you're the Mount Vernon coaching staff, you got to be pleased with the way it's gone so far.
So O'Connor to the plate. Single to right field back in the first, and ground ball to second in the 4th inning.
She comes in batting a robust .625. You know what? If you added up my 3 years of varsity baseball averages, I don't think it would go to .625. It might be .500.
I got to .460 my senior year.
Holy cow!
Yeah,
I think I was in the 3s my senior year, but certainly
that's impressive.
Well, it worked for me.
This one, right fielder backing up at the fence. Goodbye. There's the first home run of the game for New Pal. And for O'Connor, it is her 7th of the season. Insurance run on one swing, 4-2.
Just a really good piece of hitting. I mean, ball was kind of up and outside a little bit. She just went out there and extended her hands. Didn't try to pull the outside pitch. You get the replay here. Pitch location was outside, and she just drove it. You see the right fielder make a good effort. I thought maybe for a second she may have a shot at it, but obviously the ball was just too deep and gone. So, again, .625. How about Emily O'Connor there with the big fly?
7th home run, 21st run batted into the season. And you did reference how early in the contest the wind wasn't a factor. And we literally saw the cold front come through a couple innings ago, and it is now gusting out that direction. Wind kind of moved that ball around too. Looking ahead for Mount Vernon, the group that has done damage is the group that's coming up. They will send 8, 9, and 1 to the plate. And all of their productivity really has been from 9 to 3 in the lineup. This one, again, right field. This one won't carry the way the last one did. But making the play is Hassel, and there's one down.
Yeah, that ball wasn't driven like the other one was. The other ball was just, this one here's popped up, just got under it just a little bit. And but O'Connor just absolutely drove the ball. Nice job there by Hasselt in right field. Again, playing really almost with her heels on the warning track. I'm not sure that I blame her.
So here is Biddle that got the rally started last inning with a line drive smack to center field. It's in there for a strike.
And that's a good pitch to take. That was a really good pitch, nasty movement. You don't want to swing at that anyway. You know what? Just that's a good pitch to take and wait on a mistake. Like Franklin's going to want a dry ball here.
Reference the fact that Biddle's going to play at Northern Kentucky next year. That's a nice, easy drive for her family from this side of town.
Absolutely.
Make it to Highland Heights in about an hour and a half from here. And she'll have a chance to play some games in Indianapolis as NKU and IUPUI are the two newest members of the Horizon League. Where she'll be going to school. They are in their 7th year as a Division I program.
I actually was talking to her mother a while back, and there were some people who thought that maybe she committed a little too early. She should have waited, maybe got a better deal, a bigger deal. She loves the campus.
Yep, it's a great school.
Absolutely loves the campus. So once you find what you're looking for, quit looking.
2-1 the count. Way too many people are concerned with the level at which you play at and not the level of fit.
Right.
And, oh, yeah, hey, how is this going to set me up for my career after I'm done playing?
And educationally, I think that they got what she wanted as well. But more than that, she just loves the place.
Count it 2-1. This one, fair ball. Fair ball inside the bag. Biddle rounding first, sprinting towards second. Great throw, but the tag not in time. I thought that was an easy double. Hassel had other ideas from right field. Biddle hustling the entire way, has a 2-bagger.
Well, and just hustle all the way around here. You see, again, great job of hitting just inside the line. Like you said, hustles to the ball. Makes a good strong throw. Unfortunately, it's just to the center field side of the bag. If it had been more toward the third base side, they might have had her there, but was not able to get it done.
So Campbell re-enters at the DP position. She was pinch run for by Sarah Green, and Green would come around to score what at the time was the tying run on the double by Mitchell last inning. Campbell entered the game batting .474. Good job by the catcher in Bennett to snare that one. That would have been an extra 60 feet for Biddle.
Yeah, I'm just kind of getting the feeling, too, that this is just, you know, they say that water will eventually find its level point, and that's this Dragon lineup is just now finally kind of doing what we expected them to do all night.
And some slap foul, 1-1 the count. As it stands now, this is still the fewest runs they've scored in a game so far this year.
Without question, but I don't know. It almost feels like the dam is about to burst.
Then again, one more hit likely reaches that. 21 runs last night. 10 or more runs in 6 of 8 games so far this year. 2-1 the count.
Really nice job of a secondary lead there by Biddle out at second base. She saw the ball was going to, you can watch the trajectory of the ball as it comes out of the pitcher's hand, and when you see it's going to be in the dirt, go ahead and take a couple extra steps. Catcher's got to block it, and if it bobbles at all, go.
And that one does get to the backstop. And the runner does take the extra base on the wild pitch. And we'll ask for a refresher softball.
Yeah,
I'm not sure there's any that are new at this point, but
no. Again, they probably got some young sophomore or freshman in the dugout there with a bucket of Diamond Dry and a fresh supply of towels, and that's about all you can do.
And thanks to the great athletic staff here at New Pal for getting the field ready today. And you knew we'd play through some rain at some point, but again, earlier today I think the thought was we weren't playing at all.
I wasn't sure, and but Al Cooper, former coach Al Cooper, athletic director now, and his staff do a fantastic job in all sports.
Time is asked for and granted.
3-1's a good hitting count. We'll see if Campbell can do anything with it. She's, again, probably looking for something that she can drive. You want to look for your favorite pitch. If you get it, unload. She is choking up a little bit, shortening it up.
And ball 4. We've got that as the first walk of the game that's been issued by Franklin. If that's the case, that's just the 4th walk she's given up this season.
Yeah, she doesn't She doesn't walk many, and now New Pal, of course, can have some fun. We got the old first and third situation. We'll see if Coach Markham decides what to put on and if to put anything on, and if so, what. Always a tough situation defensively, first and third. I know when I coached high school baseball, that was one of those things that we worked on 10 minutes, not every night in practice, but we had a 10-minute segment on just first and thirds. And then we had a 10-minute segment on rundowns and the things that anything from the batter or the runner just simply running off, we're going to get a pinch runner.
Yep, Green will come back in at this point and run for Campbell, as she did in the last inning.
But you got straight steals. You've got, bunts up the first base side, bunts up the third base line, bunts right back to the pitcher, and you got to be prepared for all of them. So defensively, a little bit of pressure on the Marauders, but offensively, Coach Markham's loving it.
Tusher put down a sacrifice bunt last time up.
Coach Markham went through a series of signals to Green at first base.
Uncontested steal of second base for Green. So Tusher now a little bit of a different scenario with runners at second and third.
And now she gets her at bat back, and now you let her swing the bat.
First and third baseman maybe 40 feet away from home plate at this juncture. Let's put the bunt down. Squeeze play, no play. They'll throw back to first base, but not in time.
Excellent offensive execution, not so much so on the Marauders' part defensively, but like you said, the squeeze is on, runners breaking, you can't really see her, the ball's down. First baseman's charging, really has no play. Biddle can actually run well. If she'd have gone home, she'd have been safe for me to you. Turns to throw first, too late. Everybody's safe first and third again. So now, again, the defensive pressure that you had a second ago has returned, and the fun is still all on for Coach Markham down in the third base box as he goes through the signals again.
So 5-2 now the score. And maybe the same scenarios you had to begin the last at bat. With Tusher at first base. She'll take off. No thought of Hyatt putting down a bunt. And again, a free bag down to second. Now two runners in scoring position.
A little bit of communication going on here by everybody. We're getting dry base or softball. I keep calling it a baseball. I'm old. You got to give me a break, man.
So Hyatt, sacrifice fly and an RBI last time up. Single. So he's taking the ball to right field in both at bats. Sprayed that one foul. 1-1 the count. This is the sixth batter to the plate this inning. And the one out was a long fly ball by Miller to the edge of the warning track in right field.
Well, for a hitter who likes to go the opposite way, there is a nice hole there. The first baseman pulled in, and the second baseman's playing more than halfway over to first. So
that's low. 2-1 the count.
You can see the big hole there if you're looking on the screen there between the second base bag and where the second baseman is playing. So let's see if she can just reach out there and punch something through.
Fouled back, 2-2.
Been a long inning for the Marauders in Franklin here. A lot of base runners, a lot of action. Only one out. Still got arguably 2/3 of the inning left.
New Pal has had a lot of long innings the last few years.
Yeah.
They tend to do that to people.
Yeah, I'm sure there have been times that they've batted around and a half, or batting around and a half.
Count of 2-2. 3-2.
One of the things too, I just look down and I see the home plate umpire and his pullovers is absolutely soaked. So hats off to these guys. I think they've done a really nice job. It hasn't been too many questionable calls that I can remember. I think they've done a nice job of hustling and working together, communicating. and standing in this miserable weather.
Ground ball, runner coming home. Play at the plate, tag applied, and out. Out number 2 of the inning. So runners at first and third with 2 away.
Well, a little fielder's choice for the hitter here, but a nice job at third baseman. No hesitation on no. She's going one place, and that's home. Catcher Bennett does a nice job of catching the softball, blocking the plate, and getting the out.
Courtesy runner, Kendall Calvert will come in to replace Hyatt at first, and so Hyatt can get the gear on and get ready for the top of the 7th. And Mitchell a double in her last at bat and first run batted into the season. She would drive in the tying run and then score what is the go-ahead run at this point for New Pal.
If she gets a big hit here, as excited as she got the last time, she gets a big hit here, I think she's going to come out of her shoes.
She's going to make sure that she's got the right sign from down the third base line.
First I thought she was going back to get another bat. I'm like, no, that's the lucky bat. That's the bat you got the double with. Hold on to it.
This marks the 3rd trip through the lineup for the Dragons.
Well, the sabermetric people in baseball will tell you that's the key inning. 3rd time through the lineup. Change pitchers or bad things will happen, and I guess here today it kind of did.
They will throw down. Now they'll throw back to home. Tag applied there and out. So outs 2 and 3 of the inning for Mount Vernon are recorded at home plate. But New Pal did what they wanted to do to start the inning, and that is take a 1-run lead and stretch it. It is now 3 going to the top of the 7th. Take one more look at it here. The catcher fires onto the shortstop, who fires right back to the catcher. 2-6-2 to record the last out of the inning. In our score, 5-2, New Pal in front, and you're watching on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network.
A working mom who brings her best to both roles. A community-owned telecom that connects her home with high-bandwidth fiber optic. Mom can work from home with fast, reliable connectivity and be there when the kids come home. When everyone logs on, the internet connections stay fast and the family stays connected. 9 Star Connect. Community-owned. Community strong.
Back for potential, it could be the final time this evening here on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network. 5-2 our score. We have a pair of games for you next week, courtesy of our friends at 9 Star. We'll have Shenandoah and Pendleton Heights. We'll also have Shenandoah and Newcastle. And that's the game you'll see coming up on Tuesday. It's in for a strike. It's the outside corner. Myers, a strikeout victim last time up, and a ground ball to second base. Starting left fielder. Third baseman, over to first. 1 down.
Well, you mentioned that the 8, 9, and 1, 2, 3 hitters were the ones that had done some damage for the Marauders here, but clearly not the most ideal situation that you want to be in as a coach. You're down 3 runs, and you start the inning 8-9-1.
So Yoakum batting 105 on the season, yet has reached base both times today. Bases on balls, hit by a pitch, and scored the first run of the game for Mount Vernon. And they played awfully well in this game.
Absolutely no shame at all. I mean, when you compete with a ball club like the New Palestine team that's, I know, ranked somewhat high nationally, and just the history of it and the rivalry, there was a time when this was a huge rivalry. It don't get much different. The New Pal's red and white, their fight songs to the tune of Indiana. Mount Vernon's black and gold, their fight songs to the tune of Purdue. They're 10 miles apart. We don't like them, they don't like us. And, whichever side you're on, we don't like them, they don't like us. Neat rivalry.
That's in for a strike. And to the point, if Mount Vernon doesn't score 3 times before the next 2 outs are recorded, this will be the 39th win in the last 40 games played for New Pal.
Yeah, and there's coaches that will tell you that when one team wins all the time, it ain't much of a rivalry. But it still can be. It's important to these kids, and I know that it is. I coached at New Pal and I coached at Mount Vernon. I've been on both sides of this thing, and I tell you, it's a big deal to the kids.
Yoakum trying to reach base for a third consecutive appearance. This one will get out of play. Count runs full now.
And, you know, Greg, one of the reasons why I think it is such a big deal to the kids nowadays is because they all know each other. They all play travel ball together.
Sure.
They all Facebook and Snapchat and do all that stuff. You know, in the old days, you know, if you had a rivalry like that, you wouldn't have to talk to them until the next year. Now, I mean, you're going to see them, you know, at volleyball, travel ball, or whatever. So,
Ball four.
big deal to the kids. How about that? Nice day for the 9-hole.
And I would imagine they're going to pinch run for Yoakum at this point, which would mean her day will probably come to an end. They're going to try to get a little more speed on the base pass, knowing they got to score her run and 2 more after it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think they only brought 3 subs, so they're a little limited down there on who they can bring in. I'm sure they got somebody.
So it will be Maitland Griner that will enter.
Pretty good offensive night, though, for the 9-hole Chloe Yoakum.
That's exactly what you're asked to do.
Yeah, get on base 3 times, 2 walks and a hit by pitch. That's how you get up in the lineup. You know, I mean, on base percentage is a big deal, and if you don't like hitting 9, do something to make me move you up.
1-0 the count. So again, this is where Mount Vernon got rolling in the 5th. Batters 9, 1, 2, and 3 all reached.
You know, when I coached, I used to tell my kids that, you know, the leadoff hitter and the number 2 guy, those were my guys. I got to pick those guys. Coach Markham's going to come out and talk to Bullock here a little bit. But after that, it was straight on base percentage for me. I mean, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 were on base. You don't like batting 7th? Do something. Make me move you up. Again, I'm always going to have a fast guy who gets on a lot, you know, takes a lot of pitches and works the count. He's going to be my number 1 guy. My number 2 guy was always going to be that contact guy, good bat handler, could bunt if I needed it. But 3, 4, 5, 3 through 9, on base percentage. You don't like batting 9th? Do something about it. And I'll tell you what, Chloe Yoakum did something about it tonight.
Marks the 4th trip through the lineup here for Mount Vernon. Kissy doubled last time up. Scored what was the 2nd run on the bases-loaded double that Perry hit to give the Marauders a 2-0 lead. Since then, New Pal's answered with 3 in the home half of the 5th and 2 more last inning. And that misses low and inside, 2-0.
Could be in a situation here where the Marauder hitters are being told by Coach Kirby, just we're going to take till we get a strike. We need race runners. We need people on base.
And she was taken there on what was ball that did tail late, but was right in the heart of the plate. 2-1 the count.
Yeah, but a nasty pitch, though, because it was in the heart, but then it broke away, and if you're going to hit that, you're going to hit it the other way.
Same tail, but out of the zone that time. 3-1 the count. And a walk here would bring the tying run to the plate for Mount Vernon.
And now I think you just got to cut her loose. If you get a pitch you like, you got to unload, bring the hands.
There it was. Swung through it.
She had a good rip at it. Now I think, again, you shorten up a little bit and you just try to put something in play.
Full count. Foul tip. We'll do it again.
Staying alive. Pretty good battle here between Bullock and Kissy, the one hitter.
Another foul ball. And the leadoff batter got the worst for wear on that one.
Yeah, that's got it. That stinks when it's 90 degrees, but I'll tell you what, it stinks even more when it's 40.
Outfield playing straight away for the leadoff hitter. Shading towards just a little bit towards right is the right fielder in Tusher. And third consecutive foul pitch at 3-2.
Yeah, how about Haley Kissy? Wasn't it bad here? Just battling, refusing to give up. These are, I know there's no moral victories or anything, but if you're Coach Kirby, you got to like what you see here.
This is a young team with a very bright future. And left that one high. Ball 4. And the tying run will come to home plate now for Mount Vernon. Hasselt, who's got base hits in her last 2 appearances.
Really, really good at bat. Just battled, and the pitcher had a good, nice at bat with it as well. She was delivering pitches where she wanted, but that time Kissy won the battle.
Infield single and a double to right field in her 2 trips. This one popped up and to the top of the press box.
This is where Harry Carey would say, "Get out from under the table, I'll protect you." It sounded like a bomb going off. Trying to keep the ball as dry as they possibly can.
At this point, I think those efforts are futile.
Yeah, I would agree. It's just what degree of wet is the ball.
Strike called, 0-2.
That's that same pitch we talked about earlier in the day. I just don't think that's a strike. You see the catcher. When the catcher has to almost lunge out to get it, I'm going to guess that was probably out of the zone.
No doubt about that one, 1-2. But at the same time, that pitch has been called throughout the course of the day.
Without question. And it's always to the left-handed hitter, and it's always in the right-handed batter's box. And you're right. Consistency is a big deal, and as coaches and players, we say that's what we want. But at the same time, you got to give a kid a chance, and that pitch is just not a strike.
Trying to keep the softballs dry. It's a rotation almost like tennis balls at a major at this point.
Right.
Popped up. This should reach. Nope, it might stay in play, and catcher couldn't hang on to it. I thought when it was first, it was going to reach the other side of the fence, and it kind of stopped.
Yeah, again, I agree with you. I thought that ball was clearly going to be out of play, and then just the wind a little bit, kind of pushing from third base toward right field, I think put that back in play. And luckily, Hyatt didn't hurt herself over there against that brick wall.
And that's the difference in innings 1 through, say, 4 and the last half of this game. 1-2 the count. Swing and a miss. Good battle. Bullock gets the strikeout.
Nice pitch. Just took something off of it a little bit. Again, we said earlier that the hitting is all timing and pitching is upsetting timing, and that's what that was.
Well, Perry last time up doubled to deliver 2 runs. She didn't miss a home run by much.
No.
And this one ricochets off the headgear of the catcher. Perry does have 2 home runs this year. The RBI for her were numbers 18 and 19 in her last plate appearance.
Yeah, the ball that she hit, the double that literally hit the bottom of the fence, is kind of unique because it was hit so high. You don't see the ball hit the bottom of the fence very often when it's hit that high. You'll see line drives, of course, do it, but kind of a weird ball.
And now Mount Vernon down to a final strike.
Yeah, and again, if you're Bullock, you're in a great spot here. You have your whole arsenal available to you. It stinks to hit when you're down 0-2, but it's awfully fun to pitch when you're up 0-2.
Wasted that one at 0-2.
Yeah, as a hitter, you got to be thinking, I don't know what she's going to throw, and I don't have any idea where she's going to throw it. I just have to be able to protect and throw my hands.
Straight up. Pitcher comes in, catcher heads back, but that reaches the seats. And they're scrambling to find not just dry softballs, but softballs at this point.
Well, a nice crowd here tonight, even with the weather. So hopefully they'll be able. They made a couple dollars. They can buy another box of softballs.
Ground ball, shortstop. Will go the long way to first. Out is recorded, and the game is over. Great fight by Mount Vernon, but the champ responded. After trailing by 2, New Pal scores 3 in the home half of the 5th, tacks on 2 more in the 6th, and they go to 9-0 on the season. Jim, your final thoughts on this one?
Well, just a fun game between, again, 2 rivalry teams. Very well played. Some really good defensive plays in the field, and ended on a good play here. You see the last play scored 6-3. Miller does a nice job at first base, scooping it out of the dirt and holding on to it, squeezing it for the final out. So I enjoyed it. It was a game got a little bit of a late start, maybe 5:45, but it took less than 2 hours. Well played.
New Pal goes to 9-0, and again, weather permitting, they are slated to play 2 in Seymour on Saturday against Elkhart Central and Seymour, both of the 4A classification. Mount Vernon now has this entire Easter weekend off, but they are slated to have a very busy week next week. They will next be in action against Delta on Monday in Hoosier Heritage Conference play. Jim, a pleasure, my friend. We'll do it again real soon.
All right. Thank you very much, Greg. I enjoyed it.
For Jim Leisure and our entire 9-Star Sports crew, this is Greg Rakestraw. Be sure to join us next week for the next pair of 9-Star Films games that we'll have for you. A pair of baseball games, again, featuring Shenandoah, Pendleton Heights, Shenandoah, and Newcastle. But for the final time from New Pal this evening, the number 1 team in 3A gets the victory. They knock off Mount Vernon 5-2. Thanks, as always, for watching right here on 9-Star and the ISC Sports Network.